Good morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Thursday, April 18th. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, hanging out with my co-host this morning. I got my main guy, Mr. TC Stills. All you Yankee fans, wake up and get your coffee. TC, how you feeling this morning, brother?
Oh my goodness. Wow. Feeling great. Woke up early. Great. Yep. Saw the positivity show. Got me all hyped. Positive vibes. That game last night or yesterday during the day, my goodness, was that a much needed victory and a comeback and our captain winning the game for us. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing?
Oh, yeah, definitely is. Definitely is. I'm feeling good. Shout out to the chat. My guy Aaron Rodgers is in the building all the way from the West Coast. Shout out to my guy AR. My guy Jacob Petruzzi is in the building. Anthony Medina, mi hermano de la Islas, in the building. Anthony, how you doing? Richie Rivera is in the building. Bobby Woodruff is in the building. How you doing? My guy Acevedo, salute, 3 capital S's. Norman Soto is in the building. Our friend Sierra says, good morning, Hector and TC. I'll be driving and listening to your wonderful takes. I just wanted to say Skinny Stanton, absolutely, Sierra. Shout out to Skinny Stanton. We'll get into that. Wow. But to you Yankee fans out there, it's perfect that the New York Yankees won, right? Because if the Yankees would have lost, we would have been dealing with it in the chat. Caputo would have been losing his capoots. People in the chat would have been saying, season's over. Trade Juan Soto. Aaron Judge is a bust. We were able to avoid being swept in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
We lost 2 out of 3. We were able to go 3-3 on the road trip. Not something truly to write home about. We should have swept Cleveland. We should have at least taken 2 out of 3 in Toronto. But hey, we're still 13-6 on the season. One of the best, if not the best record in all of Major League Baseball. So I understand the frustration. I get it. The Yankees offense going to that 9th inning, it looked dead. It looked dead, DOA, dead on arrival.
Serious, really.
But Giancarlo Stanton, like Sierra pointed out, Skinny Stanton came through and he shot a moonshot. I don't even think landed yet.
It hasn't landed yet.
What's your thoughts on Giancarlo's 5 home runs so far in the early season?
I think he's found his stroke. I mean, the power is definitely not gone, man. That was seriously. I think it's still, it's following the eclipse somewhere. It hasn't landed. So that was a shot. What a pick me up, huh? In the 9th inning, Juan Soto in the 8th, and then Stanton, and then the rally. But the average is there. Giancarlo, was he batting 250? I mean, he's hanging around the 250 mark, and that's all we wanted. The home runs will come. We didn't want all the the million strikeouts and leaving so many men on base, and he's coming through right there behind Aaron Judge. I mean, it's a good sight. It's a very, very good to see.
No, it definitely is. Let me shout out some people in the chat right now. We got our friend Anna Marie in the building. Anna says, I'm watching you and NFE show at the same time. Multitasking master over here. Shout out
Right,
to
you
you,
can
Erica.
watch them all.
I mean, Anna Marie. Erica Garcia is in the chat. Shout out to my friend Erica, who is in the building. Anthony Garcia is in the building. How you doing? Salute, salute, salute. Aaron Rodgers says everyone is welcome for Stanton on the rally. Absolutely. I'm gonna bring up Giancarlo Stanton's stats right now. On the season, Giancarlo Stanton, he said at 254. Like I said, he has 5 home runs. And if there was ever a time for Giancarlo Stanton to have his bat alive, this is the moment, especially when Aaron Judge has been struggling.
Yeah.
Juan Soto has been phenomenal. Anthony Volpe has been great. Oswaldo Cabrera has been amazing. But the last 2 games in Toronto, you see what happens when Aaron Judge doesn't hit. Going into that 9th inning, Aaron Judge was 0 for 12. I'm going to just bring this up right here.
Yeah.
0 for 12 with 7 strikeouts in that 9th inning. Even still, with Judge's struggles, check this stat out. Aaron Judge now has 17 career RBI and plate appearances that gives his team the lead in the 9th inning or later. That's the most out of any player in all of Major League Baseball since 2018. Even with his struggles, even with Judge hitting 183, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs, a 710 OPS. Who would I rather have up in that situation? It's no other than Aaron Judge. Even with his struggles, we saw it in the last game, bases loaded, 9th inning. He wasn't able to win the game for the team. Even with his struggles, I still want Aaron Judge up in that situation. Like I said, he is leading all of Major League Baseball since 2018 with 17 go-ahead RBIs in the 9th inning or later. That is clutch baseball at its finest. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, I mean, he's the captain, and he's dangerous anytime. Like you said, even if in a slump, you still want him there. He has the potential of hitting the ball anywhere. I mean, he's just he's hard to get out, but of late he's been struggling. And in Toronto, it was bad. It was bad to see 0 for 12, 7 strikeouts. But hey, this right here coming through is gonna set him off for a hot streak. And that's what happens. And we saw it in Cleveland, that bad loss, set the guys back. They were, in a little tailspin. They had a 3 games, losing streak. But guess what? Games like that yesterday, boom, winning streak. So homestand, I think they're sweeping. They're going to go on a big streak right now. That rally in the 9th inning, that's the guys came together. Everybody contributed. Jose Trevino, wow, clutch base hit. I mean, these guys, everybody is contributing, and they're rallying around Aaron Judge. And guess what? He comes through for them in the 9th inning when they needed it. Yeah. So he's clutch.
Yeah, he definitely is. Eric in the chat says, glad he got the monkey off his back last night. You could tell it was a relief for him in the post-game interview.
Yeah.
Still want to see him lifting the ball more. Yeah, you still want to see Aaron Judge lifting the ball. But like you said, Erica, it's good that he finally was able to scratch that monkey and get it off his back. When you look at Judge, right, and this is the one thing, the New York Yankees were still 13-6 on the season, best record in Major League Baseball, even with our captain, our number 1 guy, a guy who gets paid the most on this team with him struggling. You brought up Jose Trevino. Shout out to Jose Trevino as well, being ready and always ready to go out there and perform. As much as I want to see Austin Wells in the lineup, you got to ride the hot hand in Jose Trevino. Jose Trevino's hot right now. Austin Wells, he's having great at-bats. It's not like he's having horrible ABs. It's not like he's going out of the strike zone, striking out left and right. He is having great at-bats. It's just bad results. He is just having just bad luck when he's hitting the ball in play. But Jose Trevino, he's having good luck, and he's putting the ball in play. I think right now in the season, Jose Trevino, he was pitch hitting for Austin Wells, but Jose Trevino, 233 on the season. Austin Wells, 097 on the season. You got to ride the hot hand, and the hot hand right now is Jose Trevino. I want to bring up I wanted to get into the start. I wanted to start talking about Juan Soto, right? Because Juan Soto, again, another big game, 3 for 3, a home run. He was the only offense that the Yankees had in yesterday's game until that 9th inning. But so far in the season, Juan Soto is hitting 352, 4 home runs, 17 RBIs, and a 1.055 OPS. Connor Foley from the Yes Network, he put it out there. Juan Soto has reached base safely 43 times through his first 19 games of the season. The only other Yankees to do that was Mickey Mantle in 1962, Babe Ruth in 1923, Derek Jeter in 1999, 2006, and 2005, Bill Dickey in 1933, and Jumpin' Joe DiMaggio in 1941. Juan Soto, he is putting his name up there with the greats, and the season just started. We are literally just not even 20 games into the season, and Juan Soto's name is being put up there with the greats, with the legends. This man, the New York Yankees, they need to back up the Brinks truck. You remember that movie from the Disney Channel, Blank Check? Give my guy Juan Soto a blank check and sign him for the remainder of his career.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, he's proven his worth. I mean, just these first 18 games. My goodness, without Juan Soto, I don't think we're 13-6. I really don't. I think we would probably be 500 team without Juan Soto.
If that.
Because the hits he's coming up with, I mean, he just seems to, you can't get him out. He's that guy that we always seem to face on another team that we can never get out. There was Edgar Martinez and Jason Giambi, and the list goes on and on. These guys that you just can't get out. And Juan Soto is our guy. They can't get him out, and he's always on base. And Aaron Judge has all these opportunities. It's just sad to see that Judge is going through a slump right now, because Juan Soto's always on base. Volpe's on base. The table setters are there. But I mean, my goodness, the defense, the offense, Juan Soto is clutch. I mean, yeah, you got to write a blank. Just say, what do you want? It could be $1 billion. I don't know. What's how going to go? Yeah.
Listen. At this point, when you look at Juan Soto, you're gonna have to sign him you're gonna have to sign him. You can't let this man walk away. Not even left-handed pitching can phase this man. He almost had 2 home runs. Right, he had a double earlier in the game, which almost left the ballpark. He thought it was a home run. So we could be talking about Juan Soto having a multi-home run game if that double cleared the wall in center field. Juan Soto, he is a different beast. Like I said, lefty on lefty didn't phase him. He was having a back and forth with that reliever. I think his name was Batista. I'm really not too sure what the reliever's name was. From Toronto, lefty reliever. But he threw him sliders, and Juan Soto he wasn't able to get to the slider. Started laughing at the dude. The dude challenged Juan Soto, and he deposited it into right field. I'm not sure if Juan Soto was baiting him to throw the fastball, but whatever it was, got to give you credit to Juan Soto. I like what I'm seeing when it comes to Juan Soto in that batter's box.
Difference maker.
It's literally must-see TV when Juan Soto is in the batter's box.
Yeah, and just imagine when Judge gets going. I mean, right in the middle of the lineup, Stanton's already, proven that he's come back a little bit. Rizzo's starting to hit a little, and some of these guys are just getting hot. It's early, and once this team gets rolling, my goodness, this lineup, I don't know, and hats off to the pitching for keeping us in the games. I mean, the pitching has been solid. I know we always getting on the offense, but the pitching, my goodness, Ian Hamilton again came through. And what we're all forgetting is Clay Holmes has a 0 ERA right now. What does he have? 7-8 saves. I know he gives us
0.
A heart attack every time he comes out, but guess what? 0. So, what can you ask for?
I want to shout out some folks in the chat. Abdul from San Diego. Abdul says, salute, new follower. Abdul, welcome you to the Brew Crew. Welcome. Familiar folks in the chat, you already know what to do. Abdul's a first timer here. Welcome him to the familia. Welcome him to the fam. Shout out to you, my guy. I got a few chats that I want to bring up. My guy, Richie Rivera from Empire State of Baseball. Make sure you guys go give my guy a subscribe. But Richie says,
right there.
based on MLB qualified players, he's tied for 9th. It's Altuve, Arcia, Betts, Winker, McCann, Ohtani, Contreras, Juan, Ozuna, and then Juan Soto. I think he's talking about tied for 9th with RBIs in all of Major League Baseball. Listen, I know somebody put in the chat earlier, Juan Soto MVP. They're calling it right now. With Shohei Ohtani
very close,
out of the American League, with no Shohei Ohtani in the American League right now, that MVP, it is up for grabs. Normally, of course, the analytic nerds, the dudes that love the two-way player, they were always going to make Ohtani a fan favorite to win the MVP. But now with Ohtani in the National League, that American League MVP is wide open for grabs. And when you look at the teams right now, you got Juan Soto leading the New York Yankees. Can you guys name another player on another team that should get considerations for the MVP? So far in the early part of the season, I haven't seen a player have this much of an impact the way Juan Soto has an impact on the New York Yankees. You take Juan Soto away from this team, like you said, TC, to give you your credit, I don't even think we're 500. We're definitely below 500 if you see the struggles from Aaron Judge. Without Juan Soto, the only hitters that we could rely on are Anthony Volpe, Oswaldo Cabrera, and Giancarlo Stanton. Is that a team that's going to be over 500 in the early parts of the season? I really don't think so.
No, I don't. And we saw it in Toronto. The lineup has been dead. It's just flat. And yeah, without Juan Soto triggering, a little rally there. I mean, I don't know if they make a comeback, as I think just his presence in the dugout telling these guys, we're not done. Don't give up. Last year, this team would have folded up and it would have been done. They would have lost, 5-2 or 5-1, 4-1. I mean, this is a different team. It's a different makeup. They have the guys in the dugout, to rally the troops. They have that swag and that no give up attitude. I've heard it already many times, in interviews, and they just this is a no quit team, and it's just got a different feel. And Juan Soto is right there leading the pack, and he's doing it on the field. He's not just doing it with words. He's showing these guys, get good at bats, and it's showing in different players that they're having great at bats because they're looking at Juan Soto. Wow, this guy, he puts in the work. So he's a great addition, and like we were saying, I mean, you gotta lock him up for what 13, 14 years. You got to do it.
Yeah. I see some people in the chat pulling up Mike Trout. And listen, you got to give credit to Mike Trout. So far in the early part of the season, Mike Trout,
7 home
he's
runs,
hitting 282, 8 home runs, 11 RBIs, but he has 8 home runs and only 11 RBIs.
Yeah.
He has a 1.053 OPS. Listen, it's the Anaheim Angels. Right now, they are 9-9 on the season. They are second in the AL West. The Angels started the season last year good. The Angels started the season 2 years ago good. The first month of the season, they just can't find consistency. I'm praying that the Los Angeles Angels finally can put a good team around Mike Trout. I think it's pitiful that in Major League Baseball, one of your best players for over the past 10 years only sniffed the postseason not even a handful of times. Not even a handful of times Mike Trout has been in the postseason. And that's a shame to the owner, Artie Morona. That's a shame to Major League Baseball for allowing that to happen. We got some chats that I want to bring up real quick. My guy, Big Joe, is in the building. Joe said the biggest pleasant surprise for us so far has been Cabrera. Perfect segue. Let's talk about Waldo. We got to talk about Oswaldo Cabrera, who is hitting 309 on the season. 3 home runs, 13 RBIs. He has an 895 OPS. And my guy Frankie G put it out there on Twitter. Juan Soto and Oswaldo Cabrera are carrying this Yankees lineup. I want to throw in Anthony Volpe there as well, because Anthony Volpe in the leadoff spot, he's still hitting 324, even though he's been not really struggling, but he's a couple of offers over the last 2 games. But I still got to give credit to Anthony Volpe. But Oswaldo Cabrera, when DJ LeMahieu comes back, I think DJ is already starting his rehab down there in the minors. But when DJ LeMahieu comes back, do you're not taking Oswaldo's job. How can he take Oswaldo's job with the way he's been doing? What, like, is this how the New York Yankees are going to reward Oswaldo Cabrera, perform well, and we're going to take your job when the veteran comes back? What's your thoughts, TC? Folks in the chat as well. Oh, we got NFE backstage. I'm going to bring NFE. I just saw him right now. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, it'd be a shame to do that to the kid. I mean, he's come up here and proven us all wrong, because I was right there saying he probably should have been in the minors. This guy has no business. NFE, good to see you. No business being here. He had that one, half season where he was hot. Now he's proven to everybody, hey, he's the guy that they put there, and he's coming through for them. You can't take him out when DJ comes back. I know a guy that you could take out that I've been down on all year is Gleyber Torres.
He talk about it.
Be benched for a while, and DJ needs to play second, not only for the defense and for his offense as well. So, but he's not taking Anthony Volpe's spot at the leadoff. There's no way. Aaron Boone, you'd be stupid to put DJ back to leadoff. Anthony Volpe is there to stay. And I don't know, you guys, you agree or not? I mean, Anthony Volpe is thriving as a leadoff hitter. So, put DJ back at sixth, and maybe have him and Gleyber platoon. Sometimes if you have a lefty pitcher, you give Cabrera a day off, because I know they want him, only from the left side. It's kind of his best side right now. But I would not immediately bench Oswaldo. You can't do that to the kid. I mean, they've been doing that to these guys like Peraza and Florial. You can't continue to do this to these guys that deserve it, and especially when he's coming through as he has.
Yeah, he had a big double in yesterday's game. Oswaldo Cabrera, how can you want to bench him for DJ LeMahieu? I'm gonna throw it over to NFP real quick, but I got a few chats that I want to bring up. My guy Acevedo, check this out. This was crazy when I read it. Mike Trout, he has 378 career home runs. Wow. 248 of them are solo home runs. That is crazy to say out loud. I'm going to say it again so it can hit me in the face. Mike Trout, he has 378 career home runs. 248 of those are solo home runs. That is horrible. If you're an Angels 75%? Fan, I don't know. I can't even do the math off the top of my head, but I think it's more than 75%. If you're an Angels fan, I feel bad for you that you got this type of ownership, not putting the right teams around your players. And again, to that owner's credit, it's not like he's not afraid to spend money. He spent money on Albert Pujols. He spent money on Josh Hamilton. He spent money on CJ Wilson, on who else? Gary Matthews Jr., Torrey Hunter. He spends money, but he spends it the wrong way. The last time they actually spent money on a contract that worked out was Vladimir Guerrero and Bartolo Colon. After that, it's been dumpster fires when it comes to the Los Angeles Angels. My guy D-Rod with the $5 super chat, he said, "What's up, fellas? Funny that Major League Baseball is the only space where being locked up is a good thing." Contractually speaking, Hector, you always look cute on SNY. D-Rod, I appreciate you like always, my guy. Salute to you. NFE, I throw it over to you, brother. Go ahead, my guy.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? How's everybody doing?
Chilling, bro. Chilling.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, you guys were talking about how when DJ comes back, you don't sit Cabrera. You absolutely cannot sit Cabrera. That would be a stupid move if they did that. But I'm hoping this year they're a little bit smarter with keeping the hot players in the lineup. And I agree with TC Stills here, and I've been saying it. If you're going to sit somebody and you're going to play DJ, because I think inevitably DJ is going to be in the lineup. Boone's going to find a way to put him in the lineup. But you got to sit Torres down if he continues to slump, right? That's assuming he continues to slump. He could fill in for Gleyber Torres, or he could fill in for Anthony Rizzo if he's having an off day, which there's been a few games where he is a little bit off. He's been looking a little bit better at the plate somewhat, but his defense is still somewhat suspect. I don't know what's going on there, but hopefully it's just a temporary hiccup.
I'm looking right now in the New York Post. They put out an article yesterday. DJ LeMahieu set for final rehab step before Yankees return. They haven't given a date when it comes to his return, but He's making his rounds. He's trying to get back. Listen, I wish him the best. Having DJ LeMahieu off of that bench as an option to platoon at second base, third base, or first base is always a valid option to have, especially he's a professional hitter. But you cannot sit Oswaldo Cabrera, because Oswaldo Cabrera, he has done everything right. Even when it comes to in the middle of spring training, you telling this kid, hey, I know you've been a switch hitter ever since you've been 16 years old. We want you to stop being a switch hitter, maybe switch hit occasionally, and we want you to go in that box and go against left-handed pitching. He did that. He did what you asked him to do. You cannot reward him by sitting him or benching him for a veteran who has been struggling. And Eric has said it in the chat. He's also made some really good plays at third base. So it's not like he's hurting us with the glove. Birdie has more errors than Oswaldo Cabrera does right now. So when it's all said and done, the smart thing to do is have him fill in at second base for Gleyber Torres, because Gleyber Torres, I don't know what is wrong with Gleyber Torres right now. In spring training, Gleyber Torres looked phenomenal. He was hitting over 350. He had a new batting stance. But over the past couple of weeks, Gleyber Torres, he has reverted back to his dramatic leg kick while he's up there batting, and it is throwing him off. His defense, you seeing it. His struggles in the batter's box are starting to trickle over into the field. And when a baseball player, when that happens, it's just mental mistakes. He is becoming his worst enemy. What's your thoughts on that, TC? And let's throw it over to NFP to get his thoughts. And folks in the chat, let us know what's your thoughts about Gleyber Torres. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I played baseball through high school, all the way up from little league all the way up, and it affects you when you're in the field making mistakes. It affects you in the batter's box, vice versa. Same thing. It does. It's a mental game. You get down on yourself. It's hard to escape that, just to leave that at bat behind and go to the next one, or leave that error behind and try to, pick yourself up. And that's what's getting to Gleyber Torres. It's just a snowball effect. He just keeps, making the same mistakes at the plate, and he carries into his defense. He's being lazy. It's almost as if he doesn't care, but I know he does care. It's just baseball is a humbling game, and he needs to get it together. Either take some extra practice or talk to somebody, a counselor, or something to get his head right. Talk to the judge's hitting coach. Maybe he sees something that he could help him with. Because that leg kick, before he cut down on that, and now he's doing the same mistakes, and it's just sad to see, because he's got so much talent. He's a great up and coming player. Like I said in a previous show, he could have been our franchise second baseman, but at this point, it doesn't look good for him. It doesn't. It's really looking bad. So, if anyone's got to come back and be benched, it's going to be Gleyber. He's going to be the odd man out.
Go ahead, NFP. And I got some chats that I'll bring up afterwards. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, you're good. I appreciate it. He's just in his own head. That's the problem. I think the problem is, I doubt he's going to get a QO from the Yankees. He's not going to get a QO. I think the idea of free agency is bugging him right now. I think his mind might be too stuck on that. And you can tell that mentally he makes a mistake, and it just ruins him for the rest of the game. And I don't know if you guys saw that post-game interview of him a couple of days ago. They were asking him all these questions, and you just saw it in his face. He's just like, he looks defeated.
Yeah.
As if his time over there is over. Like it's almost like he's already like thinking ahead into the future. Like, okay, I'm not going to be here. So, he's not like focused in the present moment. And you hate to see that with a guy like that, but it's unfortunate, but he's one of those guys. If he continues in this trend, then he does need to sit, and he might need to have one of those rest days, so he could be reset, like, mentally, because mentally he's not, his head is not in the game, and it's pretty evident. So, I don't know what needs to happen. I don't know if the other players like Soto needs to give him a pick me up or something, but his head's got to be in the game, and it clearly it's not. It's just he's just not there right now, and you see it.
My guy Nathan Ramachandra, who covers the Yankees minor league system, just put it in the chat right now. Breaking news is confirmed. Gary Phillips just put it out. DJ LeMahieu is said to start his rehab assignment this Friday with the Somerset Patriots. I got some chats that I want to bring up real quick. Erica says, when you are struggling, the ball always finds you. Defensively, big ABs with runners in scoring position. The moment keeps finding you. He needs a rest day, but he can't be benched long term. He's too valuable offensively. And that's the thing that sucks, is because we already know last year when Aaron Judge was gone, Gleyber Torres arguably was our second best and most consistent hitter when Aaron Judge was not in the lineup. So seeing Gleyber Torres in spring training, thinking, okay, we're going to get a different version of Gleyber, a better version of Gleyber, but to see him revert to what he's doing right now, it's just sad to see. My guy Richie Rivera put it in the chat. It was mentioned on X Spaces he might be dealing with an injury to the left hand and the left wrist. He was plunked on the first game of the season, if you guys remember, in Houston. I definitely remember. I remember they said the X-rays were negative, but if he's dealing with something on his hand and the Yankees medical staff, they reported it wrong, I'm not sure. Allegedly, we just got to keep looking into the medicals that are released and come out. But if he's dealing with, if he has a broken hand or fractured hand and he's been dealing with since opening day, it would be the most Yankee shit ever. It would be the Yankees of last year, Yankees of 2022. I don't think he's dealing with that, but hey, I personally could be wrong. I'm not too sure. What's your thoughts on it, P?
I was just going to say, if he's dealing with it, he has a responsibility to let the training staff know, because sometimes players are stubborn. You guys know this. I mean, if they are dealing, if there's something lingering, they're just going to be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to play through it. It'll get better. It'll go away. Like, don't worry about it. But if something is lingering, if it's bothering a player, like, you got to let these guys know. You got to let the training staff know, because the training staff can only do so much. And if you're telling your training staff, hey, I'm okay, then they're going to take your word for it. They're going to trust you on your word. But then, you don't want something worse to happen later on. I'd rather just address the injury now. If there's something bothering them now, then have it come up later, especially, when if they're in like a playoff race and it's tight, and we need all players on deck.
Yeah.
So, I'd rather address it now than later.
Yeah. Anna Marie in the chat says Torres needs to watch High School Musical to remember to get his head in the game. Absolutely, Anna Marie. I 100% love that. Let's go through the lineup and the pitching things before we continue the conversation, and before we throw out the open panel to get more people into the conversation. TC, I'm gonna throw it over to you for you to read off the Yankees lineup. Let's do that right now. I'm gonna bring it up. Go ahead, TC.
All right, yesterday, Anthony Volpe led off 0 for 5. Wow, that was a tough game. He's usually on base and he's been hot, but still hitting 324. Juan Soto, can't say more about him. Juan Soto's 3 for 3, 2 RBIs, big home run. He had 2 walks. He's just always on base. Aaron Judge, but with the clutch 2-run single in the 9th, 1 for 5, and 3 Ks. That's still got me concerned. Anthony Rizzo was cleanup, 1 for 5. He had 3 Ks as well. Giancarlo with the monster bomb, 1 for 3, and 1 strikeout, 1 walk. Gleyber Torres was 1 for 4. He had 3 strikeouts as well. 208, very concerning. Alex Verdugo, 1 for 4. He had a strikeout, run scored, batting 242. He's coming up slowly but surely. Oswaldo, 2 for 4. Another great game, batting 309. He scored a run. And Austin Wells, he's struggling. 097, 0 for 2 with a walk. And Jose Trevino, hats off again to him with that clutch pinch hit RBI single, 1 for 1 with that RBI. He's batting 233, and I think Jose's deserving some more playing time now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to leave this up real here because you look at Judge and Rizzo, right? Judge, even though he had that hit in the 9th inning, him and Rizzo, 3 strikeouts, 6 strikeouts total for your number 3 and your number 4 hitter. Yeah. It's not very good. You need to pick that up. But Juan Soto, again, 3 for 3, 2 RBIs, a home run, 2 walks. He is a walk machine, and he puts on a show in the batter's box whenever he's in the batter. I was more entertained with him. I never got so excited for somebody drawing a walk like I got excited for Juan Soto in that 9th inning, drawing the walk. He did a bat flip on a walk. When was the last time someone did a bat flip on a damn walk? I want to bring up the pitching sides of things. Oh, I see we got our friend Erica setting up. She's going to join us. I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to bring up Erica afterwards. But when you look at the pitching side of things, Marcus Stroman, another solid outing, 5 1/3, 6 hits, 2 runs. He gave up a home run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 99 pitches on the day, 2.42 ERA. Solid outing from Marcus Stroman. Caleb Ferguson, another blunder for Caleb Ferguson, who has a 5.87 ERA. He pitched 1 inning, 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and a home run he gave up. I want to ask you guys, when are we going to get rid of Caleb Ferguson? He is not the guy in big moments. Ian Hamilton, he pitched the inning in the 3rd. He had to save Caleb Ferguson, but Ian Hamilton, the inning in the 3rd, 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. He has a 2.31 ERA. Victor Gonzalez, the only member of the Dodgers that I like, the only former Dodger I like, he pitched the inning. He pitched a 3rd of an inning, no hits, no runs, zeros across the board. And Clay Holmes, 7 saves, 1 inning, 1 hit, 0.00 ERA. Clay Holmes is better than Edwin Diaz. Clay Holmes is the next Mariano Rivera. Clay Holmes is the next Sparky Lyle. I don't want anybody talking mess about my closer, a.k.a. Cardiac Holmes. I know I got a little bit exaggerated there. NFE, what's your thoughts on the pitching line while I bring up Erica?
You know, as far as the pitching, I mean, Stroman's been solid. I mean, he's solid. He just needs to get the run support. I wish he would just get the run support that he deserves. Ferguson, he's been shaky, but, you know, we'll see if Matt Blake can continue working with him, because Matt Blake does do a good job with the pitchers. And, you know, you brought up Clay Holmes. I mean, he's been doing well. He's been playing better than Josh Hader. That was another name you forgot to mention.
Ooh, yeah, thank you. I forgot. I knew I forgot one. Go ahead, NFB. Keep
going. But he's, Clay Holmes, he's been pitching lights out. He hasn't given up a run yet. And who was the other? Victor Gonzalez. I mean, he's been again. The Yankees bullpen has been pretty good. There's a couple of names that are a little shaky, right? Like Ferguson, he's been a little shaky, but hopefully with time he does improve. But again, the Yankees are going to have some bullpen arms coming back here. Eventually, right? Canely should be back here soon, and then you'll get Efros and Trevino coming back in the summer. So they're getting some reinforcements coming back. So we'll see what that bullpen looks like by then.
Yeah, and obviously the Yankees, they're going to keep shuttling arms back and forth between Scranton and the big leagues just to get some fresh arms in there when you have to have some guys just to give some other guys some rest. But talking about Josh Hader, a.k.a. I don't like to pitch more than 1 inning. Josh Hader, he has an 8.31 ERA right now on the season. Erica, I'm going to throw it over to you, my friend. What's your thoughts on the convo? Go ahead, lead the way.
No, nothing, man. I just wanted to join in on here. It's life is always better after a Yankee win. I got to tell you, man, my mental health was taking a hit the last 3 games. So I'm glad that they came back and won it yesterday. The way that they did, it makes me feel a lot better about this weekend's series with the Rays. I'm gonna be at the game tomorrow. We're doing the Sweet Life tomorrow, so it's gonna be nice.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, all around. Listen, the Yankees again. If there's one thing that you see from their losses is that they don't give up. Aside from a few here and there, the game 2 against Toronto, they had a bit of a comeback or rally in the 9th inning. Yesterday they came back against Cleveland. They technically came back as well. So that's one difference from this season and the seasons prior to that is I never feel like we're completely out of the game, even when the offense is putrid like that, because no matter what, once you go back to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys, you're just like, all right, you know what they're capable of. So there's always a chance, right? And it's not only Judge doing it. Unfortunately, Judge isn't the one even doing it this season, but he came through yesterday. I hope that gets him again, like I said in the chat, gets the monkey off of his back. And we'll see, if it rolls into this weekend, especially in front of the Bronx crowd. I think they saved themselves from a couple of boos with that comeback win yesterday. So yeah, just 13-6. I'm just glad it's not 12-7 because I was gonna have a lot to say.
Erica, and
box.
the and the conversations that we be having on Twitter Spaces and even in the group chat, Gleyber Torres names he gets brought up a lot. Yankee fans, rightfully so, frustrated with Gleyber Torres and his performance. What do you make on Gleyber Torres and his struggles? I brought up the fact that in spring training, he fisted up his batting stance. He didn't have that dramatic leg kick. Yesterday's game, he went back to that dramatic leg kick. What's your thoughts on Gleyber?
I just think I've said it before. I think he's a very emotional guy and he lets it get to him too much, and it's gonna show when it's time for him to get out of a slump. I think there's a lot more pressure on him this season to perform, especially after the year that he had previous. And obviously with the contract year, so it might just be a lot of pressure. He might not be able to handle it. I know that he's played in New York, you know what I'm saying, played in this market and been able to handle that, but I think he gets into his head a lot, and I really think he just needs a rest day. And I think DJ coming back is going to be huge for that. I know that I mentioned that he should have gotten a rest day yesterday, but people are like, "Oh, but then who do you put in? Jemai Jones, Kevin Smith?" I'm like, it doesn't matter. It might be more valuable to give him that day off to reset, to not have to worry about being on the field and being the guy that day, because like I said in the chat, the moment keeps finding him, and he's not coming through, and he just continues to dig a hole. So like I said, we know that he's gonna turn it around. Like he's shown it. He averages 260 a year. Like he's gonna get going. But I think that he needs that reset because yeah, it will mess with you, and we're seeing it right now. It's a good thing he got that hit last night. Maybe that sparked something. But
Yeah.
when he's slumping and they're losing, it's not a good mix.
Yeah, and you bring up emotions. He is a Sagittarius, and Sagittarius are emotional creatures. So that may be, Mercury's in retrograde. I don't know what that stuff means. But I got someone else backstage. My guy Damian Serrano. I'm gonna bring up the fly guy Damian. Damian, let me get a thumbs up, bro. Let me know you're ready to rock out. My guy Damian Serrano. Dame, how you feeling, my guy?
Oh yeah. Look at him.
What's up,
Hold on, I gotta go get dressed and take a shower. Damian,
you sure that's not A-Rod?
Damian's being fancy now.
He's cooler than A-Rod.
We're in Florida. It's really, really shiny today. So
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
What's
Damian,
going on,
ahead.
TC, NFE, my guy? What's going on? We're talking about
Steve,
Gleyber, right? Hector, my brother.
Yeah, everybody's favorite Yankee right now, Gleyber Torres. Go ahead, Damian.
Man, yesterday I was talking with NFE about it. It kind of alluded to Erica's point. This is a contract season for Gleyber, and I think the pressure's absolutely getting to him. And Gleyber wears it. You always know when Gleyber's in a slump. You always know when Gleyber's doing terrible because it's written all over his face. Like I told NFE yesterday, it looks like he lost his best friend. It looks like he lost his dog. And it's been that way since day one. Spring training, he looked great. Looked like he was ready to come in and, be all-star Gleyber. And now, man, he's in such a bad way, and you can tell it's a mental situation. It's not even his physical. It's not his skill set. It's Gleyber's mental. Always will always get in his own way. He's his own worst enemy, and we all know that. It's unfortunate because this guy's going into a contract season. He's not going to come in as a Yankee next year. If last year was his free agent season, then he would have commanded $150 million a year. $150 million contract. But now, he'll be lucky to walk away with 80-90 as a full-time contract if he keeps it up. He has plenty of time to turn it around. Gleyber definitely needs a breather. At this point, to Erica's point, I didn't care if it was Jemai Jones at second at this point because he's not giving us anything. So he needs a breather, and I feel for the guy. I like Gleyber, but man, it's tough to watch. It's really tough to watch.
I forgot who said it, but Jemai Jones, he has the perfect ESPN analyst name. That's the perfect name for an analyst in the future. Erica, I want to throw it over to you, and then I'm gonna circle over to TC NFE. When it comes to Gleyber Torres, how long do the Yankees put up with this? If we're expecting, us fans, if we're expecting that this season, 2024, it's an all-in season, right? We're going to wait for Garrett Cole, Jason Dominguez to come back. How long do we put up with Gleyber Torres? Errors, Gleyber Torres' batting average and the black hole that's in that lineup right now when you look at Gleyber Torres? How long should we put up with this?
So we know how Boone is. We're gonna deal with it a lot longer than our patience allows. But I think that he's benefited from all the injuries, really, and it's the only reason that he continues to play. Because he would have gotten days off if DJ was healthy or Peraza was healthy. He would also be technically fighting for his job at that point. Right now, he's not fighting for his job, like TC has mentioned. He's kind of just like, all right, well, I can make these mistakes. I'm sure he's not saying that, but you know what I'm saying? Like in the back of your mind, mentally, you're like, all right, I got a little bit of a window. So I think when DJ comes back, we're gonna see how he gets going. And if it's kind of like the Trevino Wells thing, you got to give it to the hot hand. If DJ comes back and defensively he's sound and he's getting the hits that we need, I think you're slotting him in until Gleyber can prove that he can get back to his old ways. So I think he's bought himself some time. And like I said, Boone is a player's guy, right? He's gonna back his dudes up as long as he can. He's gonna try to have Gleyber work through it on his own. But I think once DJ comes back, that kind of shortens that leash well, I don't want to say leash. That's wrong, but it just gives more options.
Yeah. No, I got the reference with the least. Big Time Jerry says, this game, Damien, it really humbles you ASAP. How are you doing, Damien? And Jerry says, you do look like A-Rod. First of all, I just want to throw this out there. A-Rod wished he looked like my guy, Damien Serrano.
100%.
Okay? I just want the A-Rod wish he looked like Damien Serrano. And I think me and Damien, we both wish we had A-Rod's bank account. That's the one thing we wish, right, Damien?
I wish I had his dough, please. I'll switch all day.
I would throw it over to NFE to get his take on it, and I'll throw it over to TC also to get his take. Go ahead, NFE.
Yeah, I mean, if Torres continues slumping, I mean, like I agree with Erica. Boone's going to keep him in there for as long as possible. Boone is not going to sit. He doesn't like sitting these guys. Especially if they're in a slump. But he's going to have to at some point, especially if this is a year where they absolutely have to win a World Series. You got to start making those decisions. But I still believe that at some point, I think you might, if Torres continues on this slump, I think you might see DJ in his place. Maybe not every day, but you'll probably see some more days where Torres is sitting down. But knowing Boone though, he's going to try and keep him in there for as long as possible. So we'll see we'll give it a timeline. Like if I was to give it a timeline, we'll see by like the All-Star break where things stand. So,
yeah, because we can argue that, the game in Cleveland, we win that game if Gleyber Torres doesn't have an error, right? One of the other games, if not both of the games in Toronto, if Gleyber Torres is able to fill the ball, we're not losing that series 2 out of 3. We're actually on the verge of maybe sweeping that series if Gleyber Torres can fill the ball in both of those games in Toronto. So there's a lot to go back and forth. But one thing, when your team is winning, you're able to mask and hide those errors. You're able to cover those up, but when you're losing, they get magnified to a certain degree. Go ahead, TC. I'll let you give your take. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, you nailed it. I mean, if we would have lost a lot of those games when he made errors, they would have been calling for Gleyber's, out. Get him out of here. But speaking from Boone's point of view, he's not gonna bench Gleyber. Unfortunately, I agree with Erica. He's gonna be playing, and unfortunately, when DJ comes back, the God man out will probably Oswaldo Cabrera. He'll probably be him, and which is unfortunate. And I just see it happening. This is just Aaron Boone. He's gonna bench the guy, and he'll be forgotten for a couple days. We're like, where did he go? So it's sad. He should be spreading them around. Gleyber's gonna need some days. He needs to get his head right, and then DJ will probably sub in for Anthony Rizzo as well. But it's unfortunate. That's just how Boone works, and I
want to believe that the version of Aaron Boone in 2024, Boone's not going to sit Oswaldo Cabrera. This is what I want to believe. I want to believe. I'm giving Aaron Boone the benefit of the doubt.
I do too.
I'm giving him for this season. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because when we traded for John Birdie, he could have started John Birdie opening day, but he decided to go with Oswaldo because Oswaldo's his guy. He likes Oswaldo Cabrera. You could tell he likes Oswaldo. So I'm giving Boone the benefit of the doubt. If he wants to win baseball games, he knows his best option is Oswaldo Cabrera as his starting third baseman, not DJ LeMahieu. You may have to filter DJ LeMahieu through Gleyber Torres and Anthony Rizzo because Acevedo just said it. Anthony Rizzo, he had 2 errors in Cleveland that cost us 3 runs as well. So if Anthony Rizzo was able to field the ball, we don't lose that last game in Cleveland. We're not here having this conversation about who should get benched and who shouldn't get benched. But when you look at just results, if you're going off of results, Oswaldo Cabrera should be in that lineup, and DJ should be filtered through second base and first base and not third base right now. Go ahead, and if I saw you put your hand up. Go ahead, brother.
No, real quick, because TC said something, and gives me a small confidence of hope for Boone to not bench Cabrera, just because he has been putting out the same lineup every day, and that's been consistent. So there is a little bit of hope there that he doesn't sit Cabrera, that he sees that Cabrera is a hot bat right now, and you're not going to sit your hot bat. Hopefully not. So there's been some changes with Boone this year. I feel like we're seeing a different version of Boone in 2024. So that's why I'm like, he's been keeping a consistent lineup. The only change he made was putting Volpe at the leadoff spot. Other than that, he hasn't really messed around with the lineup that much. So
NFE, to your point, there's been no guys really to put in. You got Johnny Jones, you got Birdie's hurt, so your bench really is limited. So I mean, you got to go with your starting 9.
But last year, though, real quick, sorry, Damien, I was going to throw this out real quick. I was just going to say that last year, look how many times they didn't have a bench last year. Either they had a garbage bench, and it was just like the line. There was like
those guys were all equal. Those guys were all Fantastic Four. Your guys,
my guys, those are the best.
Those
guys.
are your guys.
How dare they let them go? But
gotta bring back the Fantastic Four. Go ahead.
I hope to see those guys back one day. Not actually, no. But that's the thing though. Like last year, it was they had a garbage bench, and it was just like it was just a different lineup every day.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, they don't have anybody right now. I mean, they do, but they could easily play Jahmai Jones very easily. They could play some of their other guys that they have on the bench easily, but they're not doing that. So there's also I just wanted to bring that point up too. But
no, and it's a valid point, and I think this weekend our next 3 games. To me, starting the season sweeping Houston was a litmus test to see where is this team? Where do we sit? Going up against a team that was in the World Series, the Arizona Diamondbacks, another litmus test on where where this team is at. This weekend against the Tampa Bay Rays, who have been a thorn in our butt over the past few years. This is going to be another litmus test for the New York Yankees to see if this team in 2024, if we are the real deal. We got 3 games coming up against Tampa Bay. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday will be in the building. You already know what day that is. But let's talk about this. Let's preview this series against Tampa Bay. What are our keys? What do we think the Yankees need to do in order to take 2 out of 3, if not sweep the Tampa Bay Rays? Friday, we got Clark Smith on the mound, and they got Troy Alexander. What's his dude? Tyler Alexander. Tyler Alexander is pitching for the Tampa Bay Rays. He has a 6.46 ERA. Clark Smith has a 3.68 ERA. When you look at the matchup predictor from ESPN Analytics, it favors the New York Yankees at 63.5%. Tampa Bay is at 36.5%. So I'm gonna toss it over to you, TC. What are our keys? What do the New York Yankees need to do in order for us to win 2 out of 3, if not sweep the Tampa Bay Rays? Go ahead, bro.
Well, we got to play like Tampa Bay plays. We got to play small ball. We got to get the runs in when we can, and we can't wait for the home runs because Tampa Bay will run all over us. They'll get the little clutch hits. They're a good hitting team. They're fundamental. They don't make mistakes, and that's why they're always in the games, and they always give us fits because they always seem to know what's, how to maneuver around us. We don't have the home run power, but we'll bunt, we'll go first to third, we'll score from first, we'll do the little things, infield hits and hustle and make good plays. There's always solid defense. So just like they do, we gotta match their intensity, and we can't wait around for the home runs. When we do that, that's when we look flat, and we saw that in Toronto until until the ninth inning. So we got to get on the board, we got to get up quick, and we got to be fundamental. We can't make mistakes. You can't give them 4 outs an inning, and you gotta watch some of these the guys on their you got to watch what they're doing, because they'll trick you. They'll do some, they'll steal a base and you're not, you didn't step off. They do tricks like that. You gotta watch the little things.
Yeah. They do,
because they know
things.
they can't match the power with us. So we got to be on our best lookout, for them.
They play fundamental defense, Tampa Bay Rays defense. My guy Acevedo, I want to bring this up real quick before I throw it over to NFE. If they want to use DJ, this is the one good thing about Waldo. He could play left field, first base, second base, and shortstop. You could throw in right field because he plays a solid right field as well. So that's the thing with Oswaldo. He doesn't have to just stick at third base. You can move him around and give other people the day off. NFE, I'll throw it over to you. Let's get your keys for this series against Tampa Bay. Go ahead, brother.
As far as the bats go, right? TC hit the nail on the head. They need to start playing, small ball. They need to be patient at the plate. But more, I was also thinking too with their starting pitching. These guys need to go a little bit longer, right? We need 5 or 6 innings out of these guys because, 4 innings and you're already at 90 pitches. That's not exactly okay. So there needs to be longer starts from the starters. These guys absolutely have to go 5 or 6 innings because you saw what happened last year, right? These guys the starters didn't go long, with the exception of like Garrett Cole, and they had to go resort to the bullpen. And our bullpen's great. Our bullpen's good. I trust them to do their job, right? I mean, yeah, there's going to be days where they're going to have their off days, right? They're going to get hit. But, I hate when they go to the bullpen so early because the pitch count gets so freaking high early in the game. And then you don't want to have these guys have another burnout, right? By the time the All-Star break comes. So longer starts from the starters is what I want, is what I would love to see from the starters. So hopefully we see that with Clark Schmidt tomorrow. And I don't know who else is pitching in that series. Schmidt, Rodon.
I'll tell you right now. I'll get the rest of them. Clark
Nestor
Schmidt is pitching tomorrow. Nestor Cortez, I think, is pitching Saturday, and I think Luis Hill is pitching Sunday.
Yeah, and Nestor's he's one. He's one that we got to look out for. He's still that pitcher that's in that's that question mark for me. He's kind of so for me right now, so I'm not totally sold on him yet. He shows a few bright spots. I'll give him that. He's been able to bounce back. But he still needs to stretch out his starts, and hopefully the starters can pitch long innings, like 5 or 6 innings is what I would love to see. But we'll see what happens. It's gonna be a good series. I mean, the Rays, they bring it every time they play against the Yankees, and whenever you play against your division rivals, it's never going to be easy. It's just never ever going to be easy. So
all right, I'm gonna bring back Erica to join us up real quick. Erica, I want to bring you back up just to let you know. Erica, so we're talking about matchup predictions when it comes to this series. I'll throw it over to you. Tampa Bay Rays, we got them over next 3 games. I was telling the fellas before while you was reconnecting, Tampa Bay to me is a litmus test. So I want to ask you, what is your keys for the Yankees for us to take this series 2 out of 3 or sweeping Tampa Bay? Just so everybody know, when you look at the matchup predictor, ESPN favors this series for the New York Yankees over the Tampa Bay Rays. Go ahead, Erica. What's your thoughts and keys?
So I heard everyone else's takes, and I think I agree with them completely. They are a fundamental team. So you have to kind of play perfect. I would say something that the Yankees need to improve on. I know NFP mentioned the starting pitching going more than 5 innings. Obviously, start there, but also limit the walks. I feel like they've been giving a lot of free passes, and it's making their pitch count go up. So they're starting the games, and they look great, and they have a low pitch count, and then all of a sudden, in the third, fourth inning, it just starts creeping up out of nowhere, and they're all of a sudden at 80 pitches in the fourth. So try to limit the walks on the pitching side of things. Offensively, you got to start hot. You can't wait till the eighth, ninth inning to start doing things. So I'm hoping that they're focused on. I mean, I don't know how you get better at getting hotter in the beginning of a game, but I need them to figure it out because, they're giving us high blood pressure. We're waiting till the eighth inning to get into any of these games. So I need this offense to go back to working the counts. I feel like they lost that a little bit with the Toronto series. Granted, Bassett and Kikuchi, they were throwing strikes. So you kind of force them to start swinging early and start swinging at those breaking pitches. But yeah, I would say that also just working the counts against these guys. Honestly, I haven't really been paying attention to the Rays this year. They're one of those teams like you don't think they're gonna be in it, and then all of a sudden you're at the end of the year and they're almost at 100 wins. You're like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
But I just think that the Yankees need to tweak on those. Limit the walks from your starting pitchers because walks always find a way to kill you, especially when you have a team like the Rays, like you were saying, TC, where they could steal, and then all of a sudden there's a pass ball, they're on third base, and there's a sac fly, and then when your offense is not starting off hot and waiting till the end of the game, it feels like you're scratching and clawing to get runs across. So, yeah, I would say those are my 2 big points.
Yeah, no, and I definitely got to agree with you, Erica. I'll throw it over to Damien right now to get his take. Damien, let's get your take when it comes to the keys against Tampa Bay. Go ahead, brother.
A big key on this is, obviously we know what the pitching staff needs to do. We know what the offense needs to do. A big on this is Kevin Cash versus Aaron Boone. Kevin Cash always seems to outmaneuver Boone throughout these series. And, we got to give Kevin Cash his props. He's one of the best managers in the league. So Boone is going to have to match Cash, move for move, make the right moves, play. He's got to play chess out there. It always seems like Boone is playing checkers against Cash. So he's got to definitely outmaneuver Cash. He's got to do his thing. We got to build, Judge has got to build on what he did yesterday. That's huge for him. And Soto, he's got to continue to do what he's doing. I mean, right now he's probably the front runner for MVP if we voted today. So, and then the pitching staff, they got to go in deep. Luis Hill has to control it this time around. Hopefully, with his normal rest day, he can kind of control his command. And then we got Schmidt, who needs to go deep in the game, at least try to get 6 out of him. And then Nesta typically does okay against Tampa, but Nesta again has to go in deep in the game. So the keys is pitching, and to me is Boone against Cash.
Yeah, and when it comes to Kevin Cash, former Yankee backup catcher for like a few months of the season. I think Kevin Cash has something personal against the Yankees because he's always trying to throw stabs at the Yankees. You could tell that he wanted to be with the Yankees and felt some type of way when he got cut. But when you look at it, me personally, Erica, everybody makes solid points. I think what the one thing we should focus on, or if the pitching and catcher meeting that goes on right before the series, limit and make sure you're holding base runners better. The one flaw that I can point to over the first few series that the New York Yankees have is that teams could run on us. None of our catchers are throwing guys out. We aren't throwing guys out from behind the plate. Our pitchers aren't keeping guys close to first base. Houston was the only team that didn't run on us. Every other team since that first series ran on us. Arizona ran on us. Toronto ran on us. So that's the one thing the Yankees, they need to key in and need to focus on. I got my guy Chris N from Yankees Pod backstage. I'm going to bring up Chris. Chris, let me get a thumbs up. Let me know you're ready to rock out. My guy, he said 1 second. So Chris gonna let us know when he's ready to go. So just throw it around some more. No, but talking about the defense and the catching, listen, Austin Wells, I want to give him as much leash as possible. I'm not trying to send him down because if we send Austin Wells down, who's the backup catcher? Do we have anybody ready to go? We got to try to trade for Ben Roy back again? No. So we have to go with Austin Wells. This is who we have. And if you have a young catcher, you got to give Austin Wells as many at-bats as possible.
These reps.
So I want to throw that around real quick. TC, what's your thoughts on Austin Wells and the Jose Trevino situation?
Yeah, and well, speaking of Ben Rortvet, we can't let him beat us this series, like Florial did in Cleveland. So let's watch out for him. But no, I don't know. I'm kind of tossed up on whether Austin Wells should be sent down. He looks like he needs some time there. He needs some regular at bats because he's not getting consistent at bats here. So I don't know. I mean, there could be somebody down in AAA that could get a spot here, but I doubt Aaron Boone does that. He's just going to have to work it out on the major league level and just be patient. I think he can turn it around. He's a good hitter. But the defense has been very concerning to me. Both of them, both catchers have not been throwing out anybody, and their arms. I don't know what. I thought they had some good arms back there, and just little noodle arms. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, this is a series that is gonna be a big test because Tampa Bay. That's the thing. They're gonna be running all over the place. They're gonna steal second, third. I wouldn't even doubt if they try to steal home. So I mean, you got to be on the lookout for all the tricks.
Yeah, and also that home run that Esteban Florial hit, it turns him on because he killed the Boston Red Sox. He had go watch those highlights. Florial dismantling the Boston Red Sox. My brother Chris N from Yankees Pod, he got the fresh shape up. He's looking like $1,000,000,000. Chris, talk to the people. What's your thoughts on this series against Tampa? Go ahead, brother.
Well, really quick. I mean, it ain't a Maybach, but I had to get cleaned up, get in the car like Dame. Shout out to Damien, my guys. So what's up, everybody? Actually, I think, listen, Tampa Bay always gives us trouble, but I think this is the year where I don't think they give us too much trouble. I know our bats need to, kind of wake up. There's certain guys that still need to wake up. Shout out to Judge, because, boy, if he didn't get that hit last night, I had some stuff written down that I was going to say today. Erica kind of knows where I've been going with it lately. And one thing I'll say, too, about that situation is when you, and I said this yesterday on Twitter, right? When you put a C on a Yankees jersey, when you get paid the way he does, and when you get the decisions kind of ran through you from your GM and stuff, accountability comes with that. I'm sorry. Accountability comes with that. So I get it. He's our captain and everything, but it's one of those things where, you got to show up, and I know he's a slow starter and everything, but, sometimes we can't use that as an excuse. You got to show up. So, shout out to Judge on getting that hit yesterday. But, I'm looking forward to this series, man. I think being home, obviously getting that win yesterday, is one of those things that'll lead into the Tampa Bay series, and I think we'll be all right. And shout out to the starters too, man. The starters continue to put up good numbers. I mean, even like Nestor Cortez's weird starts where he's giving up those first inning runs, it doesn't get out of hand. It's not 7, 8, 9 runs where, now you're really in panic mode. It's kind of like that 3-4 level, and this team should be able to withstand those type of those games from our starters. So, I got to give our starters some love, and shout out to Giancarlo too. Consistent from day one. From day one, it's been like just straight through. There's not really like a down. There's not really a major up, but it's just been very consistent. And I've said this before on the show and other places. Like, he's got the criticism. We have to show him the love as well. We can't, we can't just be one-sided when it comes to Giancarlo. But yeah, I'm very confident in the series against Tampa Bay, to be honest with you.
Yeah, when you look at the home runs, Giancarlo Stanton and Salvador Perez, shout out to Salvi Perez with the Kansas City Royals, who are having an amazing season at 12-7. I told people before the season started that the Kansas City Royals are going to be a team to deal with because their minor league system, I was raving about their minor league system. So shout out to them for putting things together. But Giancarlo Stanton, he is tied for 9th in all of Major League Baseball when it comes to 5 home runs. Did anybody think on April 18th, Giancarlo Stanton, 1, will be top 10 in home runs, and 2 will be at 5 home runs on the season? I didn't think it. I know Celso Porto, he probably thought it because he's the biggest Giancarlo Stanton man crush that I've ever seen in my life, right? But I don't think us Yankee fans ever thought about it, thought of it. And going into it, look at him right there. Look at that. Look at on cue. On cue. Very inappropriate. I apologize. We had an HR meeting about that exactly moment right there. I do apologize about that. But no, let's throw it around. Let's just talk. Let's just highlight and talk about Giancarlo Stanton real quick. Since TC, Erica, and Chris are in the box, I'll start with you three, and then I'll swing over Damian and NFP. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, it's just a welcome sight to see him start off hot because we've been so down on him, from last season with that, terrible average. Well, it was below 200, 190 finished with 191. And to be where he's at right now with all the criticism, everybody's been on this guy, but he put in the work off season. He shed some weight. He's getting more flexible. And, he's seeing the ball better. It's obvious. His power has not left him, and which is a good sign. And, sitting at 250, that's where we wanted to see him all year. And the home runs and RBIs will come. But it's a welcome sight to right in the middle of that lineup, even without Judge hitting. He's carrying the load too as well, him and Soto and Volpe. So it's great to see. He needed this hot start, and I'm so happy for him.
I got one person I'm going to bring up real quick because NFP just left us. I'm not sure if he's having connection issues, but I got my guy, Mr. Jason from 161 River Ave backstage. Jason, let me get a thumbs up. Let me know you're ready to rock out. I'll bring you up right now. Jason's ready to go. My guy, Jason. Jason, how you doing? First and foremost, just for those people, when I first started doing my Yankee show and stuff like that, Yankees Morning Brew, Jason was one of the first big Yankee content creators that I ever collabed with, and he's always been somebody that I could lean on whenever I need advice, whenever I just want to talk about Yankees baseball. Jason, I always appreciate you, my brother. Go ahead. How you feeling this morning?
Doing pretty well. Hello, everybody. What's going on? Hope you're all doing well.
Chilling, baby. Chilling, baby. How you doing, Jason? Talk to us about Giancarlo. How you feel?
Stanton, I'm encouraged by his to echo TC's sentiments too. I'm glad that he's had a hot start. He's made some mechanical adjustments in his swing, particularly in the back elbow and the back foot, and I think it's that combined with his being a hell of a lot leaner than he was last year is contributing to him staying healthy, which is making it easier for him to have a good start, right? Because essentially, he's either unhittable for a while and then he gets hurt. And then he comes back and he stinks for a while, and then he gets unstoppable again. It's like a triangle. And right now, he's on that hot start. And hopefully he's in a position where that goes longer this year. And because he tends to be streaky. But I like the fact that he's helping to carry the offense with Aaron Judge and Gleyber Torres and these guys not hitting. He's definitely doing his part to complement Juan Soto and some of these other guys and Anthony Volpe. So I'm very happy with Stanton right now. And he carries him like a pro. Even if he's bad, he answers the hard questions. He just takes it. So absolutely professional, and I give him a lot of credit for that too.
Yeah, I want to shout out another Yankee content creator in the chat. My guy Joseph Caputo from the shift. Big Joe, how you doing? Joe, my friend Joe, who doesn't answer my phone calls anymore. Joe, please, I miss you, Joe. Please jump on the show with me. I miss you.
How you doing, Joe?
No, Joey. But Joe is killing it. He's doing amazing stuff over there. I like to always break Joe's balls and everything, but he does an amazing job when it comes to covering the Yankees. He does an amazing job when it comes to covering the Knicks and when it comes to covering the New York Giants. Shout out to my guy Joseph Caputo, who is in the chat. NFE, I'll throw it over to you, my good sir. What's your thoughts on Giancarlo? And let's throw it up. Matter of fact, I'm gonna throw it over to Chris N because I know he got to go do Yankee pods with Jimmy Randazzo. So, Chris, let me get your take on Giancarlo Stanton before you got to go, and then throw it over to NFE. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, really quick, you know me, positive guy. I like to show love, which is why, Celso is my guy. Jason was the first person I ever subscribed to when it came to Yankee stuff on YouTube. Brother, you do amazing work. I admire everything you do. You're very knowledgeable in the game, and I just got to show you some flowers while you're here.
Appreciate you.
Anytime, my brother. So, yeah, again, even the outs for Giancarlo, are hard hits. Like, he's seeing the ball really well. He had 2 hits, and I'm forgetting the exact game it was, but he almost hit a home run, kind of went to the warning track, and then he had one hit that was like a foot outside the foul line. And that would have been, probably a double for him. And shout out to my man getting home the other day. I mean, it took him about an hour to get home from second, but boy, something
He
we
had me
wouldn't have
nervous.
seen in years past, right? Like he doesn't even make that attempt. Even if he's getting waved around, he doesn't even make the attempt. So I mean that's big for us. And like Jason just said, with Judge slumping, right? You know, Cabrera, I mean not Cabrera, Gleyber slumping as well. We needed that bat from Giancarlo. We can't just lean on
Yeah.
Soto and Volpe. You know, it's not fair to Soto and it's not fair to Volpe. So yeah, I mean, as long as Giancarlo can continue this, and we probably won't ever see him get too high. But again, just steady the water, just stay through. You know, he'll have his slumps just like every baseball player does. But if he can just steady the water, that's all I want from him. And one last point I'll say before I do head out and start the Yankees pod. We'll love to see everybody there. I don't care if Mike Schmidt is coming off the IL. Don't bench Cabrera.
Mm-mm.
You could have A-Rod coming back right now. Until the man comes back down to earth, let the guys watch him, right? You know, if it was a veteran, it'd be the same thing, right? You kind of keep the veteran in and continue until whatever. So yeah, I don't want to see Cabrera see that bench mark.
Or like the list goes on and on. So these are
Great point, Chris. Great point. And like I said, make sure you guys gonna follow my guy Chris, aka Allentown's finest. Shout out my guy. He does amazing work on Twitter. He's gonna be over there with Yankee Pod. Appreciate you, Chris. That's my guy, Chris. Let's bring that down right. NFE. I mean not NFE. Yeah, NFE. Let me get your take when it comes to Giancarlo Stanton. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, Giancarlo, he's on a roll, man. I'm 5 home runs, right? I don't think anybody expected that. He started out the season really rough. I mean, at one point he went 3 for 24 with a 125 batting average. It was pretty bad. And, even before the season began, it was crazy. Fans were already talking about benching him, DFAing him. Like, hold on, let's wait. Like, let the season begin first, and then we could talk. But they were already counting him out before the season even began. I was one of those guys that was just like, let's see what he does. Hope maybe this is going to be a bounce back year for him. And the slimming down, I think, has helped him out tremendously. And right now, his batting average is at 254. I'll take that any day. Now, 254 from Giancarlo right now, I will take that. And I think he's going to be fine. There's going to be times where he's going to, be hot and cold, but that's what you can expect from him. But I think overall, I think he's going to be fine. I don't think he will be benched anytime soon. I don't think he's going to be DFA'd anytime soon. He's on this team, so he's going to continue playing well. I think he's going to continue trending up. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, Erica, my fault. You gave us your take about Giancarlo, right?
No, but
yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I disassociated for a second because I was like sending a message to somebody. Go ahead.
It's cool. I know there's a lot of us in here, so I'll make it quick. But I'm not surprised by the 5 home runs at all. We know that he's a power guy. And I'm more surprised by the 250 batting average, to be honest. Like, we know that, like, all I want him to be is Kyle Schwarber for the Yankees, right? Just sit around 215, 220 and just hit a ton of home runs and give me a ton of RBIs when it matters the most. But you can see, the 250 average is very surprising. He's seeing the ball well. There's a lot of breaking pitches that he's taking now, and I'm like, oh shit! Like, I'm surprised. I'm like, oh, he actually laid off of that. That's crazy. But yeah, you can't say enough about him. I've never slandered Stanton. I know he had a bad season last year, but he's always held himself accountable. You saw it all in this offseason. Like Jason mentioned, he always is answering the hard questions. He lays low. And he's always kind of stepped up when we needed him the most, and he's doing it this season. So yeah, I mean, you can't say enough for what he's doing. I hope he can keep it up, but let's be honest, he's gonna go through his rough patches. He probably will end up in the low 200 batting average. But yeah, you got to take it while you can. Listen, so as long as he's helping us win, I love it.
Yeah. For me, when it comes to Giancarlo Stanton, I think he gets credit, but I think a lot of this credit, not even with Stanton, but for the rest of the lineup, one, you got to give to Juan Soto, but also the new hitting coach, James Rosen. The way that you see him interacting with the players in the dugout, you could tell that players Giancarlo Stanton, to your point that you made, Erica, last year, he's swinging at those breaking pitches. Giancarlo Stanton last year, he was guessing more than he had a game plan. It seems like this year he is going up there with a game plan. He is going up there. Okay, this is what I'm going to look for. This is what I'm going to lay off of. And I know this starting pitcher, he throws X, Y, and the third. And the same thing could be said about Volpe. The same thing could be said about every other every other hitter that is in the lineup. Even Austin Wells, whose batting average is not showing good results. But when you look at his baseball savant numbers, when it comes to his exit and velo and stuff, he has great at bats. He's making good contact. It's just his exit velocity is not up there. I want to throw it over to TC, but before I do that, we got somebody backstage, my guy Michael Caputo. I want to bring up Caputi real quick. One of the guys who have been crushing it on Yankees Twitter, my guy Caputo. Caputo, how are you doing? How are you feeling, you handsome sly devil you?
I'm good. Doing good, man.
You good? You feeling good? How you feeling about this team? You feeling a lot better?
Yeah, a lot better.
Yeah, I just got to tell everybody, if you guys never met Twitter Caputo, this is Twitter Caputo. Twitter Caputo is a happy individual. He's not angry. He's not screaming. He's doing well. But Caputo, let's get your take when it comes to Giancarlo Stanton. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think he was great. Sorry for my dog barking. Yeah, that was huge last night. That was like that was unbelievable. I think Stanton's back. Soto is doing his thing like always. He's unbelievable. Anthony Volpe. That was just a huge win last night. That made me forget about Sunday's loss. They finally made a comeback, and they're back. I think they got that out of the way. Now I think they're going to build off of this win, and they're going to put another big winning streak together when they come back to the Bronx now this Friday.
Yeah, and go ahead, Caputo. You muted for a second. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was a huge win last night. Now they could build off of this finally, because I was really worried with that 3-game losing streak. You know, I was like really, really worried about that. But now they won yesterday, and now they could build off of this now. I mean, Stanton had a huge home run. Trevino had that double, and then Judge came through at the end with that. I think that was a single or a double. And now they're back, man. I mean, I think now they could build off of this because they were in a little 3-game skid. So, yeah, now I think they're going to be okay.
NFE looks like that GIF, the evil Kermit the Frog with the Sith robe. That's how NFE looks right now. But no, Caputo, I don't think any Yankee fan is going to disagree with you, especially the comments you made about Giancarlo Stanton and when you look at Juan Soto. But for me, I think one of the biggest giveaways, one of the biggest things that you got to look at this team is the starting rotation. In the absence of Garrett Cole not having your ace, our starting rotation has been phenomenal. I'll throw it over to Erica to lead the conversation. We got to go just one way around talking about the starting rotation, and then we're going to get ready to wrap things up and close things out. Go ahead, Erica. Lead the way with the starting rotation, and then throw it over to Jason, NFE, Caputo, and then Damian, TC, and we're going to wrap things up. Go ahead.
Yes, I don't think any of us expected for this starting rotation to be keeping us in games the way that they have. But I think you can see the potential of what this rotation can be later on in the year, especially when you add Garrett Cole into it. Obviously, like I said before, you got to limit the walks. I think that they're still trying to find their command and their groove. They're about to go into their 4th time around the rotation, so they're still looking, for that. So hopefully they can get the control under wraps and get deeper into games, because this bullpen is going to be depleted pretty quickly if we continue the way we are. Boone is allowing them to pitch. I think Boone is letting them out, keeping them out there sometimes a little bit too long, but that's hindsight 2020, right? You can always say that it was the wrong decision after something goes wrong. So, but yeah, I mean, you can't say enough. Stroman is like, he wasn't getting any run support, so he finally got some runs yesterday. Rodon, he has his stuff, right? Like his pitches are hitting 97, sometimes 98, but sitting around 96, 97. So that's key. He just couldn't finish them off yesterday, but I think that that's just gonna continue to get better. Who else is there? Luis Heel is his own worst enemy. He just has to limit the walks. See, it just kind of keeps all going back to that. But yeah, I mean, you can't really say enough. Clark Schmidt I'm curious to see Clark Schmidt tomorrow, actually, because it's like a mental thing. He gets to the 5th inning and all of a sudden he like can't pitch. But the first 4 innings, he's absolutely dominant. So I want to see how that continues to trend. Hopefully he gets out of his head a little bit with that. And who's our 5th? Who am I missing?
Nestor.
Hey, he's a back of the rotation guy. I say this every time. He's a
Yeah.
back of the rotation guy.
He's easy to
Continue
forget.
do what he's doing as a back of the rotation guy, then you take that every day of the week. But when Garrett Cole comes back, I know Luis Heel is going to be the odd man out, and he's going to probably go to the bullpen. But to me, Nestor is the biggest question mark in this rotation.
Copy. Before I throw it over to Jason, just so people have some context, when it comes to the Yankees pitching, they're leading all of Major League Baseball in wins at 13. They are 5th when it comes to ERA at 3.11, number 1 in all of Major League Baseball and with 10 saves. And when it comes to the strikeouts, this is the thing. This is why the Yankees defense is important. The New York Yankees, we are 23rd in all of Major League Baseball when it comes to total strikeouts with 150 strikeouts as a team, as a starting staff. So this is why the Yankees defense is super important when it comes to staying focused and staying in games. Jason, I'll throw it over to you to get your take on the pitching staff, and we'll throw it over NFE, Caputo, Dame, and TC. Go ahead, brother.
And to your point too, Hector, I mean, the only pure strikeout guy is Garrett Cole. When he comes back, those strikeout numbers will probably be
bingo.
Right. But to Eric's point too, I mean, Marcus Stroman has been the most stabilizing pitcher right now. He's not getting run support, but he's kind of hanging in there more than, very credibly. I think Clark Schmidt needs to take the next step in his development, right? And Nestor Cortes is probably best positioned for a backup rotation. I do think as well with Luis Hill, he's coming off Tommy John. So he's got a huge arm, and that's obvious. But one of the biggest issues the first 6 months off Tommy John is command, and he's having trouble with his command. So locating pitches, he's walking way too many guys, not giving up hardly any hits. He's walking way too many guys. So that'll come in time. But if he happens to be the fall guy who goes into the bullpen and helps, on the back end, a lot of folks have been asking for a typical hard-throwing closer. Well, there you go. We have him in-house. We don't need to go get a guy for $20 million a year. So we have one here already. And who am I missing? Carlos Rodon, he's got his stuff too, 97, 98. I think command he has to continue to work on too. So, but right now the rotation's done a pretty credible job. It's keeping the teams and keeping them at a 13-6 record while Garrett Cole works his way back. And they have guys like Luke Weaver and guys like JT Brubaker, who they traded for. These guys could be the swingman, right? The long relief guys who can be the stabilizer, the cook, that security blanket between the starting rotation and the relief pitchers, so that pitchers don't get worn out. These guys can be the difference between using 3 pitchers in a game or using 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Oh, because if a pitcher gets bombed and throws 2-3 innings, these guys can come in and throw 4, and then you're at the 8th inning instead of in the 4th. Having to use guys, especially on a day where there's a doubleheader. And that way you don't have to option a ton of guys after game 1 and make these ridiculous moves. So it's a good thing they have this pitching depth, and Cashman's been quietly stockpiling arms, very quietly, and nobody's talking about it. And it's because they're not sexy moves, but they're no less impactful, and they're very strategic moves. So I'm happy with the way the rotation stands. I'm comfortable right now with where the bullpen stands. I think we need a little bit more starters, but all in all, I'm pretty happy with the pitching.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. NFE, let's get your take real quick, and let's throw it over to Capoots, Dame, and TC.
Yeah, it's like I was saying earlier with the starters. I mean, all things considered, I'm happy with how they've been performing. My only thing with them is just they need to pitch longer. They need to go 5 or 6 innings, so it doesn't put a lot of pressure on the bullpen. Although our bullpen has been coming out and they've done well for the most part, right? You have Luke Weaver who can come in and pitch a couple of innings. So can Ian Hamilton. But the one name that I will mention, and I wish he was not hurt, but my God, the injuries have plagued him, was Loaisaga. It would have been great to have him in that bullpen, but it sucks that he's not in there. But fortunately, the Yankees have bullpen arms that can help, and that'll get the job done. So Yeah, the biggest thing with the pitching, particularly with the rotation, is just they just need to pitch longer. They got to get that pitch count down and pitch 5 or 6 innings, and make it and make it easy for the bullpen to come in and close it out.
Okay. Caputo, I want to throw it over to you to get your take. Let's get your take when it comes to the Yankees starting staff, and because I know going in the offseason, you and I we was having conversations. You were upset about Yamamoto, the Yankees not going out there trading for Corbin Burns, Marcus Stroman. How do you feel about the starting rotation right now in the absence of Garrett Cole?
I think it's good. I'm really impressed with this rotation. I think it's done its job. It's stepped up. Stroman's been good. Rodon. Nestor has turned it around. I see Schmidt. Yeah, I mean, the rotation's been doing its thing. They could use one more starting pitcher, I think, but right now I think it's good like the way it is. And then once we get Garrett Cole back, it's really going to boost this rotation and make it even better. And then we'll be exactly where we want to be. But I would just be more like secured if we just could get one more starter. But I guess we're not going to get that until maybe a trading deadline. But this rotation, you can't say enough. I mean, it's probably – it has one of the best ERAs in baseball right now in the American League. So I can't really complain. It's been the offense that's been the problem, scoring runs. But I like this rotation right now. And in the way if we could get away with this maybe one more month, which is it's going to be kind of like a tall task, I think we'll be all right. Because Garrett Cole, it looks like he's on schedule, and he who knows, maybe he'll come back before June. Maybe it'll be like late May. Possibly.
Yeah, they said late May, early June. If I'm the Yankees, I'm not trying to rush him back. I'm taking my time just because, one, he's your ace, and also you got so many years and so much money invested into him. Take your time. Let Garrett Cole. It'd be a different story if our team ERA was over 6. If our team ERA was over 6, yeah, we need Garrett Cole to come back as fast as possible. But the guys that are riding the ship, they're riding the ship very well in his absence. Damian, I'll throw it over to you and then swing it over to TC, and we'll get ready to dip out. Go ahead.
Stroman's been everything that anybody could have asked for. I mean, right now he is the ace of the staff. So, man, I love Stroman. Stroman's out there. He's a dog, and everybody rallies behind Stro. Rodon, I'm a little worried about. I think Rodon's got to absolutely start trusting his secondary. He's not throwing that last game. You barely saw any cutters out there. He could have really used the change up in that game. We didn't see any at all. 101 pitches in 4 innings. Rodon is a question mark to me still. And Schmidt, I mean, all in all, starting staff has been decent, but we got to get deeper. Because at the end of the day, we're going to run into what we did last season and blow our bullpen out by the All-Star game. So at some point, and I wouldn't mind, listen, if Hill on Sunday comes out and has a carbon copy of what he did last game, I wouldn't mind seeing Warren getting a shot as well. The kid absolutely could have deserved it coming out of spring training. Hill obviously outpitched him. And, again, that says a lot because Will Warren pitched very well in spring training. But if Hill comes back out and does what he did last Sunday, his last start, I wouldn't mind giving Warren a spot start. We got some decent arms in out there too. We got Cody Petit back out there as well, who obviously came in Cleveland, pitched his ass off. So all in all, as far as the arms in bulk in general, between the MLB, between the Yankees, MLB staff, and then obviously spraying the AAA, they'll be okay. But I'm still a little shaky. I'm still a little. I'm not as optimistic as everybody else is as far as the staff because I see cracks, and eventually they're gonna run into really good teams that are really gonna show out those cracks. And Tampa Bay could be one of them. And there's a lot of good teams out there. We still haven't seen Baltimore. I'm not gonna we're not gonna really see what we got with Toronto because Toronto's been they've been struggling offensively. So until we really start seeing these big teams, Baltimore's of the world, the Texas Rangers of the world, obviously the Rays are coming into the house. I don't think we're really gonna know what this starting staff is until we start seeing these teams.
Yeah, and that's why I said earlier, Damian, I look at Tampa Bay as being a litmus test, right? We already had one when it came to the Houston Astros. We had another one in the Arizona Diamondbacks. Tampa Bay is a litmus test as well. Go ahead, TC, and then I'm going to swing it around to Erica, Jason, Caputo's, and NFE just to get their over and unders for tomorrow's game. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, I mean, you guys all pretty much summed it up, and Damian took my thunder with Cody Poteet. I was going to, hats off to him with the great game he pitched in Cleveland. I mean, I'd like to see more of him. Maybe go to a 6-man rotation to ease some of these guys and ease the bullpen a little bit, because the bullpen's going to get taxed before Garrett Cole gets back, and it's it's not looking good for the rest of the season. But overall, I think the pitching's been pretty stable. Stroman has been probably at the top of the list of giving us the most innings and most consistent, and as well as Clark Schmidt. Clark Schmidt has looked good, except for that, the third time through the lineup, 5th, 6th inning, he hits a wall, but he's looked great. Nestor and Rodon are question marks. They're up and down in their starts, and Rodon needs to step it up. He needs to give us length. He needs to give us at least 6 innings. Him and Nestor being, so far he's our, number one guy right now with Garrett Cole out, and he hasn't looked like it. So, and then Hill has his hiccups, the like Jason brought up, coming back from Tommy John, the accuracy's, a little off, and he's walking too many guys. So if we need to give him another rest, like I said, Cody Poteet's right there. Will Warren's right there. Clayton Beater's another guy. So, Cashman finds these guys, and it's just going to be a rotation and a wheel of, different guys coming in until we can get Garrett Cole and then a consistent, starting 5. So it's been great. I think up until this point with the 13-6 record, I think it's a good look we've put up so far, and hitting's not even hot yet. So
yeah, I
think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I still personally, I need to see more out of Nestor Cortez and Carlos Rodon. He has shown some good spots here and there, but I want to see more consistency out of Carlos Rodon. Marcus Stroman, I love everything I'm seeing out of Marcus Stroman. Marcus Stroman is a dog. Caputo, I know your dogs was barking in the background. They're excited because of Marcus Stroman. But Marcus Stroman, dog, the way that Marcus Stroman carries himself in the Yankee dugout, wearing those old school Yankee jerseys, the vintage Yankee World Series t-shirts. Shout out to Marcus Stroman. I think it's amazing. So I want to throw it around to the folks that's on the big screen right now. I'm gonna throw it over to Erica, then NFE, then Caputo and Jason. For tomorrow's game, Tampa Bay, the over and unders aren't out on ESPN, but on DraftKings, it's 7.5 runs. So, Erica, I'm gonna ask you: Yankees and the Devil Rays tomorrow. Over and under 7.5. I know you're gonna be living that sweet life tomorrow. Make sure you enjoy the lamb chops. The lamb chops are really good in the Audi suites. But what's your over and under? Is it over and under 7.5 runs? What's your thoughts?
I got the over. I think that them being back in front of the Bronx crowd, we're going to give them a little bit of life. So I'll take the over. Just keep it short and sweet.
Copy. NFE, I'll throw it over to you. 7.5 runs over and under. What's your thoughts?
I'm going to go under on this one. I feel like, I don't know, again, with Tampa Bay, I'm confident the Yankees are going to play well, but I just feel like with Tampa Bay, it's always tight. It's always these tight games. So I'm gonna go under.
Copy. I'm with you with the under. Caputo, I want to throw it over to you. 7.5 runs, my guy. Are you betting your lunch money? What's your thoughts? Over and under?
Yeah, I think over, but the Rays do give us a hard time. You can't sleep on them because every year they shock everybody. But yeah, I think they're gonna win. I say over.
Copy. Jason, same question going your way. Over and under 7.5 runs, and what's the keys for you?
I'm going on the under by this much. I'm going 7 runs. I mean, I keep in mind, too, the Tampa Rays have lost Glasnow. They've lost Margot. They've lost Franco. And their other pitchers, Shane McClanahan, Tommy John. So they're not going to bring as much firepower as I think they're going to bring. And our pitching, I think, will be in a better position to keep them at bay. But that said, there could be some massive game. But I think it's going to be a 7-point game. So slightly on the under tomorrow.
Same. Damian, let's get your thoughts. 7.5 runs, over and under. What you think?
I'm gonna take the over on this one. Just for the fact that we got the Alexander kids pitching for Rays. I remember him. He was in Detroit last season.
Yeah,
not too great. So just built on that, I'm going the over. I think the Yankees come out 5-4.
TC, I'll throw it over to you. 7.5 runs over and under. What's your thoughts?
I want to go way over, but you know, Hector, when we face these guys with high ERAs, they somehow shut us down. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go under. I'm gonna say maybe 4-2 Yanks.
Copy. Listen, me personally, I'm gonna go under. I know being back at home with the Bronx natives, the fans at Yankee Stadium, I know I'm gonna be one of those lunatics over the weekend. This Saturday, make sure you guys show up for John Sterling Day. If you got ticket for NYYU, make sure you show up for that. But for me, like I said, under 7.5 runs. I got the game tomorrow game 3-2. Yankees are winning. Obviously, I want the Yankees to win. But to Jason's point, this Tampa Bay Rays team that's coming into the building is not the same Tampa Bay Rays team from years past. Tyler Glasnow, they lost players. Players are injured. So hopefully the Yankees still show up because it's still Major League Baseball players at the end of the day. You never sleep on your opponents. We got the Oakland Athletics coming into town right after that as well. But folks, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys so much. If you guys can, please smack that like button and hit that subscribe button. And for all the fellas and family on the open panel, Erica, thank you so much. NFP, Caputo, Jason, Damian, and my co-host TC Stills, I appreciate you guys. And until next time, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you drink your water, stay hydrated, and deuces.
Happy birthday.